Welcome back to the Barrel Talk Podcast. We are back with another episode of Let's Talk About It. Man, do we got some stuff to get into. The first night of the NBA Playin on the Western Conference side of things went down last night between Lakers and Pelicans, Warriors and Kings. We're mainly going to kind of focus on more so the Warriors, but I do want to start this episode getting into some of the things I saw last night in the Lakers and Pelicans game and also give the Kings their props. But without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm more so hurt, honestly. Just off the Pelicans game alone. I mean, somebody who and myself has some criticisms about Zion and his body and how he was taking care of himself in the league. This is, like I said in a previous episode, I have him on my All-NBA third team. He's been hooping. He's been hooping in a game against the Lakers, against LeBron James and Anthony Davis. He wanted all the smoke, all game. Soon as the ball got tipped, Zion Williamson was about all kinds of action. Brandon Ingram coming off the injury didn't look the best, but coming off of the injury and only having one game before this one, wasn't too shy by it. CJ McCollum didn't have a good game, and really looking at it, Zion was this entire team. He was the whole team tonight. He had like 40 and 11, and then right when he kept on getting it going downhill, AD couldn't stop him, Bron couldn't stop him. They had no answer for it. Whatever he wanted to do, get into the basket, it was a layup, dunk, everything. So he was super, super dominant. Hurts me to see him end up getting hurt with like 3 minutes left to go in the ball game. It just took the air went out of the building. You could see it. The air just completely got sucked out of the building. No BI. Now sitting there thinking about in the moment. That's why I wanted to do this episode last night, but let us sit on it. Really thought through. But I was like, why isn't Brandon Ingram out on the court? Especially if minutes restriction, not season on the line, they still have a chance to go and play. But I understand it. You kind of are going with the guys that have been in rhythm more so throughout the game, even with Zion and BI out pretty much. You got the guys with the rhythm in the game. Let them finish it out. It was a close game. They still had a chance to win the game towards the end of the game. But looking at it, I just feel for Zion as a player this is his first real playoff opportunity in the play-in. Came out 40 and 11, was dominant all game long. He might have messed around, had 50 in this game if he didn't get hurt, get into the free throw line, get into the basket whenever he wanted. And this is a Lakers team that has kind of had the answer for Zion Williamson in terms of how to guard him and what they need to do. But looking at it in terms of what he was able to do, special, especially with CJ McCollum, who's been playing lights out, having a bad game. Alvarado gave them good minutes, same with Trey Murphy III. Herb Jones did his thing. Valanciunas wasn't the best. Like, it was just the surrounding pieces. They could have still messed around and won this game towards the end because I feel like the Lakers kept allowing the Pelicans to get back in this game throughout that third quarter, and then the fourth quarter, Zion goes down and the air got sucked out of the building. I just thought that's tough. I really do think the Pelican season is probably over. It's a hamstring thing. He's probably going to be out for weeks, and they play on Friday against the Kings in the second round of the play-in to go to get the AC to play the Thunder. With what I just saw from the Kings against the Warriors, B.I. hobbled, no Zion. It's probably going to be a tough night for the Pelicans on Friday, but who knows? Anything could happen in the play-in, but does hurt. Lakers move on to play the Nuggets, though. Lakers did handle business like I anticipated they would, but tough matchup, tough draw for the Nuggets. But honestly, if there's any team that could possibly give them a little hard time with how much they have played each other in the past 2 seasons, it's probably the Lakers. I know that Denver's a tough matchup for them, and they've really handled the Lakers the past really 2 seasons. You just have to still give a little bit more of an open mind. They still have AD. They still have Bron. The others are playing great. D'Angelo Russell's playing a lot better than he was last year. The Nuggets have a lot less of a bench than they do this year compared to last year. Like a Bruce Brown isn't there. Bruce Brown was huge in that Lakers series. But they do have an Anthony Davis. They can match up pretty decently against the Denver Nuggets. Not saying that they're going to go in here and win. I do think it will be a better series than it was last year. And you got to think, even in the last year's series, every game was down to the wire. The Lakers really just lost the game in the last minute and a half, 2 minutes of the game when you're looking at that series last year. So, looking at it, I'm going to go Denver, but I wouldn't be too shocked with how this Lakers team is playing as a whole, as a unit. Could make it interesting, man. You can never count out Bron and AD, especially when they're both healthy. And they got this game won without a really super crazy dominant performance from AD, but they didn't need it because they had D'Angelo Russell playing with confidence, and he was LeBron James, he making plays. So, I mean, it's looking like it's going to be a fun series, them against Denver. I think they can match up well enough, even though Denver's going to be favored and Denver's handled them over the past 2 years. With all that, you give familiarity. Could be a better series than what people think. But looking at Kings and Warriors, props to the Kings. Props to the Kings. I remember watching the game with my guys, and I was just thinking, man, what role player is just going to come and just get off against us tonight? Keon Ellis had a way bigger impact than he probably should have. Played phenomenal. Keegan Murray played phenomenal. I mean, he came out the gates aggressive and shooting the ball. And then Mike Brown been pleading this for ever since they got him. Ever since they got him in the past 2 seasons, he's been wanting him to be this aggressive. And without him leaking on Kevin Huerter, he had no choice. So him, Sabonis played good. De'Aaron Fox played good. Tough because it's them and the Pelicans going to be heck of a game. But if they play not exactly, but if they get a Keegan Murray that can give them maybe not 32, they get a Keegan Murray that can give them 20 plus, it might be a rough night for the Pelicans, especially with what they've done. And Mike Brown, I mean, the Kings already don't have that much of a bench, but I mean, he let the starters go out there and just thrive the whole game. Trey Lyles gave him some big minutes. Like, they really controlled it from the jump. They were the more physical team. They controlled the glass. They were really just the better team on everything about it. They were just the better team against the Warriors last night. But congrats to the Kings. It sucks as like me being a Warriors fan. I like the Kings. I really do. I like Mike Brown, former assistant coach for us. I like all the players on the Kings. Like, I'm happy for them. I hope they can go into the playoffs, possibly make some noise against the Thunder. But I think with the injuries that both the Pelicans and the Kings have, I think the Thunder might take care of business against them pretty quickly, especially the Pelicans. I just think with the lack of shot creation outside of B.I. and who could possibly be still dealing with injuries, and Zion being out, I think it's a tough ask. Kings probably match up a little bit better with Sabonis and his size against the Thunder, but that game is on Friday, and we'll see what happens there. Now, where do I start? We're kind of look at this because I feel like, as somebody who's watched a lot of Warriors basketball over this dynasty and over this run, I kind of saw the writing on the wall last year, where when you're looking at the Warriors and you're looking at a team that was really up and down, they were able to make the 6th seed, took the Kings 7 games, a young, inexperienced team. They got bailed out in that Game 7 by Steph Curry having 50. Obviously, Hall of Fame, great. I don't even have to explain about Steph Curry, but they got bailed out, and it was kind of a false hope. They went to the Lakers series. Say what you want about that series, they got handled. Didn't have the size to match up with the Lakers. Looking at it, the writing was on the wall last year. Look at how the Warriors performed in the playoffs. It was a lot of Steph Curry and Draymond Green. Andrew Wiggins was a non-factor. Jordan Poole, non-factor. Klay Thompson, non-factor for the most part. It was really just shouldered upon Steph Curry and sprinkles of those guys. Like, they didn't even have Jonathan Kuminga last year. So sprinkle, they had DiVincenzo last year. Their team was better this year compared to last year. They won 2 more games. They're 10 seed, and they were the 6th seed last year. So looking at that, the writing was on the wall last year. All of a sudden, Bob Myers leaves, right? This is where I think shit starts, right? This is where I go into it. The writing was on the wall with what I'm seeing. Bob Myers leaves. Mike Dunleavy comes in. I still, to this day, believe that Jordan Poole is either still on this team or he's traded and you get more back to fit what you're wanting to do. But Mike Dunleavy, I feel like it was in a tough position because Bob Myers kind of left at a good time, credit to him, because he didn't want to make all these tough decisions, and he's over here being a broadcaster, which props to him. He got out perfect time. He saw the writing on the wall last year as well. Looking at it in terms of when Mike Dunleavy came in, he had this whole Draymond Green, Jordan Poole situation, tough to kind of deal with. He kind of made a move for Chris Paul, who is significantly older than Jordan Poole, who isn't going to give you the same offensive punch as Jordan Poole is. I know what Jordan Poole, he can be very up and down, but Jordan Poole, if there's one thing he was when he was on the Warriors, he's that second option that can create with the fucking ball. That's why I was kind of hurt when I'm seeing an explosive scorer in Jordan Poole. Yeah, I understand he can be up and down, right? He can turn the ball over, he can be a little OC at times, but he was the only other option on this team outside of Steph Curry where you could give him the ball and he can go get one on his own. I can't have faith in Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green. I don't even look at Draymond Green to go get one on his own. Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins, those are the two guys out there starting next to Curry. I don't have faith in them to go create their shot on their own. And this is before Jonathan Kuminga had to damn near ask out to get playing time this year. So looking at it in this light, like, it's tough. It's so tough. Looking at this, I don't think Bob Myers trades Jordan Poole, and it's damn sure not for Chris Paul. I understand Chris Paul, the mindset. I think Chris Paul did a phenomenal job this year off our bench with the young guys, getting them more involved and make it really the developmental process of the young guys for Chris Paul is what I will give him credit for. But Chris Paul wasn't going to replace what Jordan Poole was giving you. Jordan Poole was giving you 20 to 25 a night, especially in the starting lineups. So like when Curry went down, Jordan Poole was getting you over 20. It might not be the most efficient, but he's giving you over 20. But like, there's no shot creation outside Steph Curry. And when I'm looking at this game last night, soon as the game started, even with Draymond Green coming out and banging a three, I'm like, okay. But like even then, it wasn't like they were waiting for Steph Curry to come and save the day. That's what it seemed like they were doing. Keegan Murray, phenomenal job on him. Keon Ellis, phenomenal job on him in the second half. They made everything hard, blitzed every single screen. It was hell for Steph Curry to even get space last night. Even in the one-on-one, they're sending too because they know Andrew Wiggins ain't going to beat them and make good decisions, especially when they blitz. They give the slip to Andrew Wiggins. Those were Andrew Wiggins' turnovers. I mean, it's an effort thing. They came out there like Steph Curry was going to do what he did last year in Game 7. Steph Curry just didn't have it. I feel like they did a terrible job trying to get him going early. He only took 16 shots. Looking at it, I mean, he shot 50%, but looking at it, 6 turnovers to 2 assists. Terrible. And most of the turnovers unforced. He got caught up in the air one time, just threw it right to Keegan Murray on the break. Terrible. It was just a lack of execution. They failed to get Steph Curry really going early on in the game. It seemed like everybody was standing around watching Steph Curry trying to save the day. When is Steph Curry going to come in this game and save the day? And it looked like for a second, with everything that went wrong in the first half, somehow it's a 4-point game. Somehow it's damn near a tied game. Because Jonathan Kuminga in the second quarter, going on a run, being somebody who can create without the fucking, without Steph Curry movement, who can go get one on his own. It was just a lack of execution, lack of effort. I just don't. There's a couple more things I want to get into other than just the game itself. Did Andrew Wiggins bamboozle the league? Did he? This is an all-star fucking starter a couple years ago. All-star starter. I have no idea. I know he's had personal things, and especially not this past season, but last season. But I have no fucking idea what happened to Andrew Wiggins. That Andrew Wiggins that I watched lock up Luka Doncic to close games against Dallas in the conference finals, and then go guard Jason Tatum, giving him 20 and 12, attacking the glass. He's gone. I don't know where he went. I don't know where he is. It makes me think, did that Andrew Wiggins even exist? One thing I want to say about that is he just doesn't have this fire like that Draymond Green has. People can say what they want about Draymond Green. He's the heart and soul of the team. When you look at this is a laid-back ass team. When you're looking at Andrew Wiggins, he needs a fire lit under him. Apparently, there's always the clip of in the finals when Iguodala was on the team, on the bench. He was the person that lit the fucking fire under Andrew Wiggins. He was fun. He was an all-star starter a couple years ago. I don't even recognize this player. I don't. I don't even know. 4 for 11, 1 for 4. minus 25. Lowest plus minus on the team. How did Klay Thompson go over fucking 10 and have a better plus minus than Andrew Wiggins? How? How does it happen? I don't understand what is going through Steve Kerr's head with this. If I'm looking at Andrew Wiggins, he's getting fucking benched. Moses Moody gave me 16 off my bench, and he's been fighting for fucking playing time. Moses Moody comes in there, gives you effort, great defense in my opinion, and he's somebody who can consistently knock down the 3-ball. And you don't have to worry about him turning the ball over. Like, there was a point in the game where I'm sitting here, I want to say the third quarter, Andrew Wiggins bringing the ball to the court for I don't know why. De'Aaron Fox picks his fucking pocket. Why is Andrew Wiggins bringing the ball to the court? Why? Why is he bringing the ball to the court? Steve Kerr, who is not going to be able to duck blame, because I feel like the past 2 years have been poor coaching seasons by Steve Kerr. Jonathan Kuminga, a lottery pick. Damn near almost had to get traded to play. And then you play him and then it's all of a sudden, oh, he can fucking hoop. I understand Jonathan Kuminga can be OC at times. He's your second best shot creator at like 21 years old. Your second best shot creator. And with how much you've been playing, it's damn near like he was a rookie this year. With how little he's played, it's damn near like this was his rookie year. Moses Moody still can't find a way to crack the rotation. For some reason, I don't know why. I understand when they're fully healthy and the Gary Payton II didn't play in this one. Wouldn't have mattered. He ain't giving you nothing offensively. Obviously a dog defensively, but at this point, that was lost cause at that point. They'll go and play Gary Payton II over Moses Moody. Well, Moses Moody can give you what Gary Payton gives you a little bit defensively, and he's just a way better offensive player. But you won't. Moses Moody will go a month without playing. And he came to this game and gave them a spark. He gave them 16 off their bench, same with Jonathan Kuminga. You could argue those are the two best players for the Warriors in this game. It's on Steve Kerr. It is on Steve Kerr. This is the highest paid coach in the association. You wouldn't think he would have shit like this going on. Jonathan Kuminga almost got fucking traded to play. That's how bad shit got. And I saw the writing on the wall last year. Same with Bob Myers. Why do you think Bob Myers ain't with them no more? He saw the writing on the wall and the tough decisions that were going to have to be made. I doubt it was anything with anybody personally in the organization. He just saw an opportunity for him to jump ship before it's completely sank. And that ship was already sinking before. And then, looking at it, I'm not even going to dive into the Draymond Green drama shit. I'm not going to dive into Draymond Green drama shit because Windhorst talked about it on First Take, saying if Draymond played the games that he missed, the games that he was suspended, they probably wouldn't be in this position. Probably fucking not. But he was suspended, and it happened. And they got themselves into this position. But I'm not going to blame Draymond Green because Andrew Wiggins didn't fucking show up. Ain't really been shit all year. Andrew Wiggins is not even 25% of the player that he was on that championship run. Klay Thompson, 0 for 10. We haven't even talked about him yet. I mean, why are we just now throwing Looney into the fire after Trace Jackson Davis has been hooping? I understand it was a tough matchup for Jackson Davis. It was, because Sabonis is a bruiser. That's a tough matchup for anybody. But we're just going to throw Kevon Looney into the fire after he really has been out of the rotation? Why are we doing that? Dario Saric, DMP, I thought you could at least throw him out there to try to space the floor a little bit because he's a 5-man that can shoot the ball. But looking at it, I'm just like, there was no effort put in last night. They were waiting for Steph Curry to just explode and save the day. Like I just don't understand. Why does Brandon Przemski, our rookie guard, have more rebounds than anybody on the fucking team? Anybody on the team. It's an effort thing. It's an Andrew Wiggins not having effort kind of thing. Where he's somebody who could average a fucking double-double with the effort. All the talent in the world. He looks nothing like the player that once was. He's 29. It's not like he just became 40-something. He was an all-star starter 2 years ago. That's what makes me upset. Because Andrew Wiggins was the second. With all the shit that went around Andrew Wiggins before he got to the Warriors, with everything that was going on, Andrew Wiggins was the second best player on a fucking championship team. on a championship team. Andrew Wiggins, the entire run, the second best player. And it's just evaporated. It's gone. It's gone. It's not even like this team has no fucking size. You can't have no size and lose the rebounding. And one of the better rebounding teams in the league for their size got killed on the glass. I mean, it's gonna happen when Przemski is your fucking best rebounder of the game, and he's a guard. But like looking at team has no size, and they turn the fucking ball over a ton. I mean, 16 fucking turnovers. I mean, and the thing is, with the way they play, they're gonna turn the ball over sometimes. A lot of these turnovers are just unforced turnovers, stupid shit. Like, it's frustrating. I'm as a Warriors fan, fucking glad this shit happened. Because the false hope shit is real in the league. With all sports, this false hope shit is real. Last year, this false hope stuff really happened. Steph Curry came out Game 7, exploded, erupted when I saw the writing on the wall then. Same with Bob Myers. The writing was on the wall last year. But they got to the second round, lost to the Lakers, right? They thought they could just run it back. This false hope for these teams that aren't fully complete and are ready to implode, then they'll all of a sudden have a spark run. Bam. Get to the playoffs, maybe win a series or something. Then it's like, we can't run that shit back. The writing was on the wall last year. Bob Myers isn't here. Mike Dunleavy, it's your turn. It's your show. Because me, as a fan of what I would like to see the rest of Steph Curry's career, how it should probably play out, you have to go all in. This is Steph Curry. If you're not going to go all in, you might as well trade him. Steph Curry even said in the post-game press conference yesterday, I just want to win. And then I'm like, he'll follow that up with saying he can't imagine his career without Draymond Green and Klay Thompson playing with him. One of them motherfuckers is probably going to go. Yeah, it's probably not Draymond Green. Because with all the antics and shit, Draymond Green, he plays that are not in this position and doesn't get suspended. Like I talked about earlier, but he did. So it doesn't matter. But looking at it, if I'm Mike Dunleavy, I got to have tough conversations. All right, Steph, you want to win? Well, Klay Thompson's probably not coming back on this team next year. This is going to be a whole new roster if you're serious about winning. Which I'm pretty sure he fucking is. Because I'm pretty sure Steph Curry has another 3 good years left in him. But if you're going to just keep on running this sorry roster back, he won't have 3 more good years left in him. He looked fucking gassed to end the year. Fucking gassed. Because he's the only option. He's the only person on this team that can create their own. They have already no size. He's getting automatically the toughest matchup. And he didn't have Draymond Green, who really makes his life easier at times throughout most of the season. So it's just, questions are going to have to be answered. I mean, looking at it, I'm going to do an episode for a lot of teams when it comes to what their offseason, just going over a brief view of just what needs to happen. I mean, coaching needs to, Steve Kerr, I just don't, it's question marks around Steve Kerr's name. There is. Because I feel like he got outcoached this game 100%. A lot of it was on the players, but he still got outcoached this game. I feel like he just hasn't been the best coach past 2 years. Like he usually is. Looking at it, talking about Klay Thompson, over 10. I mean, this was the game. And with Klay Thompson really struggling the past 2 years, this past month and a half of the season, he really was playing better. He was turning it up. I was like, okay, we get this Klay Thompson going into the playoffs. We might have something here. Comes out and does this. In a contract year, it's tough. I don't know if there's a market for Klay Thompson in free agency. If this game never happens, I think there is. I don't know what team is giving Klay Thompson the money he wants. I really don't. There isn't a team out here that's giving Klay Thompson that kind of money. And Draymond Green had a comment in his post game about how the organization has done a great job taking care of them. Came out post ACL and gave him $160 million. That's not happening. It's not. I guarantee you it's not. Bob Myers, Mike Dunleavy, two different GMs. If I'm Mike Dunleavy, I'm looking at it in a whole completely different light. Unless Klay Thompson's looking at it, he was making $43 million this year. Unless he's willing to take a pay cut of around $20 to $25 million to where he's making 15 to 20 mil a year, he's not worth keeping. He's not, because you never know what you're going to get. Why would I pay $30 million to somebody who I don't know what I'm getting night in and night out? I think the injuries have just been a lot. I think his confidence is just all over the place at this point in time. With it being a high-pressure year and a contract year, I think it's just tough. He turned down an extension at the start of the year, which I think was now looking like a bad move, but he bet on himself and it didn't seem like it worked out. But if he's not willing to take a pay cut, I don't think he's worth keeping. I really don't. Unless he's going to take a $20 to $25 million pay cut to help really get this roster better, I don't think he's worth keeping. It is what it is. And then it's like, what other team now is going to go into that market and be like, okay, Klay Thompson, what's that market like? Like, I don't understand what that market is for Klay Thompson anymore. I mean, I know there's teams that need shooting. I've heard a lot of stuff about the Orlando Magic. They desperately need shooting, but at what cost? At what cost? How many years on that deal? At what cost? Me personally, if I'm going into this offseason, Klay Thompson, bringing him into the office, we'll pay you $15 to $25 million for the next whatever Steph Curry's contract is. If he wants more money, we can't bring you back. We can't bring you back for $30 million. Because damn near we're talking $25 million and below. Maybe even below that. So we're looking at, if he doesn't take a pay cut, I don't know where he's going to land. I really don't. I don't think he's going to be on the roster unless he takes that significant of a pay cut. Now kind of looking at some other stuff. Obviously they need fucking size. They need another scorer that can get his own. More size off the bench. I mean, you can't keep running these small fucking guard lineups that, like, you can't run a lineup with Curry, Podziemski, fucking Chris Paul, Gary Payton II. Like, get that shit out of here. Get that shit out of here. I'm tired of seeing that. Has a team who's had multiple fucking opportunities to go get some size. Multiple opportunities to go get some size. I'm tired of these small guard fucking lineups. We're not in that age anymore. We have 7-foot guys dribbling the ball up the fucking court. We can't be having this shit if you want to really maximize the last couple of years of Steph Curry's career. That's the main question. With Mike Dunleavy, are you committed to maximizing the last couple of years of Steph Curry? If you're not, we can wash our hands and we can trade him. That's how the situation has come to. If you're not going to maximize Steph Curry, you might as well trade him while you can. That's the point you're at. If you're thinking about after him, which I think they are, and you're not willing to do what's necessary in terms of giving up draft capital and giving up young pieces to get guys right now, then you might as well trade them. You might as well rip the Band-Aid off right now. You might as well be like, Steph Curry, where do you want to go? We will do everything possible to get you to where you want to go. That's the point it's getting to. Because, like, if they're not going into the offseason and I'm seeing Steve Kerr, we want to bring Chris Paul. Why would you want to bring him back? I love what Chris Paul has done in development of the young guys, but what is he giving you? That's 30 M's. 30 M's on that contract. You could bring him back, and I feel like that's what they need to do. If you're going to bring Chris Paul back, you better be shipping him off with some draft capital and a young player. That's what the discussion needs to be. But why would you bring Chris Paul back on 30 M's when he already was barely playing 20 minutes a game? You need young scoring that can get up and down that you can surround Steph Curry with. Because Steph Curry's still playing at an MVP kind of level. He might be a little bit more inconsistent, but that comes with being the only motherfucker on your team that can do anything offensively on their own. But, like, I understand Chris Paul mentally is a savant, one of the best point guards to ever play the game. At this point in his career, I'm not bringing Chris Paul back for 30 M's. And they're in a situation where they can shake hands, part ways, and wash their hands with it. Free up $30 million in your cap. Well, you can go get somebody in free agency like a Tyus Jones who can give you the same production Chris Paul is basically giving you. Maybe not has the IQ and the savant that Chris Paul is, but production is what I'm talking about. Production. I know what Chris Paul is. I understand. And I've loved Chris Paul. I've loved having him. Like I said with the development, I don't want to act like and go off and say that I think Chris Paul is this and that. I've loved what Chris Paul's given us. I really do. Because I think he's Trace Jackson-Davis, Podziemski, Moody, Kuminga aren't here to the point where I see them now without help that Chris Paul has given them. But looking at it, it's just like you can clear up 30 M's right there. Depending on what you do with Klay Thompson, if he takes the pay cut, it takes the little $20 million, that's 50 M's right there. And a free agency class that's like up and down, there's still some diamond in the rough. Just me just glancing at it. You need fucking size. I'd go give Isaiah Hartenstein a fucking bag, especially the way he's fucking been playing for New York. I'm looking at I need shooting and athleticism and defense. I see Gary Trent Jr., who had super young fucking player. I'm looking at guys like, you gotta get athletic, you gotta get explosive. This team looks fucking slow. For a Warriors team, this is the Warriors team that was running around the league. Age catches up to them. I just think they need to get out of their head of what once was and start walking into what is. I love Klay Thompson. If he ain't willing to take a pay cut, he can. It's time to think about these last couple of years of Steph Curry's career. It's time to think about what they need to do. And then another question I have, are they willing to commit to Jonathan Kuminga? Are they willing to commit? He's 21 years old. Feels like he's been in the league forever. This is damn near his rookie season to me. With his playing time, he had a damn near ask out to get traded. Are you going to be committed to him, to giving him an extension? Same with Moses Moody. Two guys that fucking damn near best two players in this game. Are you going to commit to them and giving them an extension and everything else like that? I don't know. And then Andrew Wiggins, I mean, you damn near might have to give him up just for anything. For anything. You might just have to. Just to get off the contract. You might just take 2 bad contracts of random motherfuckers to get off Andrew Wiggins' contract. That's how bad it's gotten. It's crazy. I'll definitely do more in depth about who they should go get and what guys, trades that could possibly happen for them, like I'm going to do with all the other teams that when they do get eliminated from the playoffs. But man, change has to be coming. It has to be. I wouldn't be surprised if this roster looks completely fucking different next year. But it's time to acknowledge and be grateful for once what was and kind of start looking into what is. What is right now, Klay Thompson ain't worth 30 M's, 25 M's. He's a damn near not even 20 for what he's giving you and the inconsistencies. Andrew Wiggins is not that all-star starter kind of player that he once was. Apparently, I don't know what happened to him. I really don't. Chris Paul, been great. I'm not bringing Chris Paul back for 30 fucking million. We need to answer the question, the main question. Are we willing to really maximize these last 3 years, 4 years of however many years Curry's career is left? If we're not, if Mike Dunleavy and ownership doesn't want to do that, if I'm Steph Curry, I'm getting the fuck out. Because I'm still playing too good to just waste my fucking career. If I'm Steph Curry, we can pack our bags with this shit and go. If I don't see significant moves from the Warriors, it's going to be another rough year. You might as well start the rebuild. You might as well start it. You might as well give Kuminga the extension, see what they got there. But main question, are they willing to maximize the rest of Steph Curry's prime in his career? That's the main question. Who knows? But thank you guys for tuning into this episode of the Barrel Talk Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning into future episodes.